Hi, I'm Shilpa Arora Sharma and I am a manifestation coach. Today I'm making this video to help people understand themselves and their desires, and I'll give you a few techniques and tips about it. So, manifestations are for desires at a basic level, and most of the people, when they come to me about manifesting their desires, it's like a discovery. Sometimes we discover that that isn't even their desire, it's just fantasy, or they don't even know if they want it truly. So let's talk about how you can truly discover what is your desire, and it'll help you knowing yourself more. So let's go ahead. Now, before we start, I have a community called Manifestors Hub, and I give group coaching and personal coaching to people to help them manifest their wishes and desires. And anytime you can register looking at the link below, or you can reach out to me on any of my social media handles. And please do share this video with anyone who needs this, and like it and subscribe to my channel. So let's begin. So desire is, of course, we all have, but are they truly our desires? Or if we are confused or we have nothing as a desire, then why should we even bothered about it? So desires are something that give us motivation. And if you want to grow, then you must have some desire, some destination where you're headed to, and then only it'll give you a motivation to grow yourself, to take up challenges for your desires and go out there and achieve them, and in the process you would really grow as a person. So if you really don't have any desire, then the growth will also be slow. So like in spirituality, when you're not born, it's said that your growth is slow because you have no challenges, nothing to do, nothing to achieve, and you're just lying there, without doing anything. And so when you're born as a human, so you get challenges and your growth is faster. So we are born technically for our growth. So it's important to have a desire. So let's look at that how you can identify what is your desire and is it really your desire. We'll have another test to it so that other things can be worked on, and then we conclude that this is your desire. So number one point is what makes you happy. Now this is obvious and upfront. So when you want to do something, when you think about something, or when you are discussing or doing something, anything related to something, then you're just happy and you're in a flow state and you're naturally attentive, then obviously that's something specific or related to it is your desire. It's like the easiest way to identify it. And most of us are like pretty obvious about it, that like for a person like me, when I'm watching a documentary or it's a spiritual book or something, I would read very fast, and if it's a movie or a blockbuster, I don't even bother. I just get in and get out anytime, and I just don't seem to remember it. So clearly my interest is never there. And if it's a book on some spiritual concepts, then I would just eat it like a bookworm. So clearly my area of interest is that, and hence I'm a manifestation coach. So clearly anything, like you see, if you like a sport or a particular subject or anything, then that is easy. It's an easy spot that what your desire is. Let's say there isn't anything like that makes you happy, then what could be a desire? Let's look at that. So number two is look around. Is there anyone or anything that inspires you? Look for your inspiration. Is there a singer who inspires you? Is there a sportsman who inspires you? Is there a businessman who inspires you? Is there a motivational speaker who inspires you? Then probably that is what you want to be or get there or achieve, that you can make as your desire. And if it gets congruent with yourself, of course. We look at the second test shortly. So that is what inspiration is, one way to look at that. Let's say nobody inspires you. I would not really call you a negative person in that sense, but let's say there isn't anyone who inspires you. Then the third way is look for the people who make you jealous. You know, that tinge that you feel, that jealousy from someone, like about who they are, what they have. Just notice that, because that indicates something that you would wish for. That maybe, in that jealousy, there is a secret that takes you towards your desire. What is it that you truly want? It's like, I think, one of the easiest ways to identify your desire, really. Now, fourth way, according to me, is whenever you're going sinking low, going down, like really having a bad day, and you're in your bad thoughts, and that one thing comes to your mind that you haven't been able to do, somewhere where you're dissatisfied in life, that comes up, especially at that moment when you're sinking, that tells you that unfulfilled thing, a wish, a childhood dream, something you discussed with someone that you wanted to do. And if that comes up unfulfilled as an unfinished chapter, then that is your desire. You should go for it. And I think I've covered, mostly primarily everything is just overlapping, but these are the prime points. Now, let's say you have nothing at all, that still there is no desire at all. Then I would say, find a purpose, something that gives you a purpose in life. It's extremely important to live with a purpose in life. And there, at this stage, you can see if you bring happiness to others in one way or the other, then does that give you any kind of joy or happiness? Then you can make that your desire, like making children happy or working for some, old age home, or working for a cause. Maybe that uplifts you, working for dogs, working for orphans. There are so many kind of things this world needs from you, and if there is nothing else that motivates you, then try them. And in all this, you can find your desire. It'll give you a purpose. So having said that, these are the ways that you can figure out what is it that you truly want. And now the second important thing is, let's test it. Is it really a desire or just a fantasy? So the second test is, are you willing to pay the price for it? Yes, you heard me right. Are you willing to pay the price for it? It's not that some money. I mean, are you willing to take commitment for it? Are you willing to work for it? Are you going to give time to it? Are you going to work on yourself for it? Especially in manifestations, if there's a desire that you aren't passionate about, forget about manifesting it. It'll just evaporate. And so one of the things that people discover when they start manifestation techniques, after a week, they just think, it's not worth it. I really even don't want it. And it just evaporates. So that means that it wasn't really a desire. It was just some kind of fantasy or something that you borrowed looking at someone else. You just picked it, but that is not really something congruent with you. It's not really hitting your core, and it is not really a desire. And such a wonderful thing to discover, when you just start with the techniques and you figure out, let's say in a week, then at least that problem of having something unresolved is gone, because it just vanishes. So this is the second most important test. And anything that you figure out could be your desire, it should go hand in hand with, are you willing to pay the price? Are you going to willing to work for it? Are you going to commit yourself to it? Are you ready to plan for it? Are you ready to take steps for it? Are you ready to grow yourself in achieving that desire? And unless these things are met, then that thing is not really your desire. It's just a fantasy and it means nothing. Just dismiss it, and you know what? Don't bother. So that's what I wanted to cover today in this video, which I made about desires. Hope it helped. And anytime you have any questions, you can reach out to me on my social media handles, or if you're in my community, then I'm very much approachable over there. Thank you and have a great time ahead. Sending you best vibes always.